the fuck is YouTube Red, and why should any of you ever give a shit whatsoever? Well, I thought that I would make a video and summarize a lot of things about it and talk about the good and the bad of YouTube Red. And additionally, I want to go and talk about, real quick, my thoughts on just the name. YouTube Red, which first thing that came to mind was, that sounds a lot like RedTube. Now, YouTube being the biggest video platform in the entire world, used by billions of people per month, is one of the best fucking things if you want to go and find Let's Plays and crazy cat videos, instruction tutorial type videos, and all sorts of other just wacky shit, right? So everybody loves YouTube for that. The other one is strictly motherfucking pornography. So while you can look up PewDiePie, you can also look up Cream Pie. And that right there just gets things real mixed up and confusing, though it is worthy to note that both involve a lot of overacting and screaming, so you've got both of those things in common, so there's that, right? So, well, if they ever decide to go and gel the two things together, it is kind of nice to know that I'll be able to post Alpha Omega porn in a place that people can actually go and see it. So the masses, besides just like Pornhub and all that shit, and then everybody opens a tab and it's like Alpha Omega porn. Now you won't find it on there. It's all backed up onto my stuff. Ha 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 ha. I shouldn't divulge too many details, but all I can say is big dick swinging. So now that we've gotten to know me a little bit better, let's go on to YouTube Red. YouTube Red was announced pretty much a while back. Granted, it was in the rumor mill, but Google, you know, the powers that be and the gods that overlook all things that it's YouTube, kept on debating on whether or not they want to go and fuck around with the idea of a paid subscription service similar to Netflix and Hulu, Amazon Prime, and that whole shebang. Now, them going after something like that on a site that for over a decade now has been free, it's obviously going to turn a lot of heads and piss a shit ton of people off. Luckily, this isn't going to change virtually anything about the website. The website will remain being free the entire time. The only thing that could potentially sort of change is the exclusive content that they're going to be making available. And that's going to be the deal breaker for everybody out there, is whether or not you're interested in the exclusive TV shows, movies, and music that they're going to have on there, because they're kind of meshing this in with the whole Google Play music subscription service. So those will be combined into one along with this entire YouTube Red thing. So I guess that's kind of good in that regard, assuming that it's different stuff than what you're getting on all the other subscription services out there, and we're getting a lot lately. Figure you have all the ones that I had listed off, which that can add up a lot monthly, and then God forbid if you're paying for additional shit out there from all sorts of other things, like if you've got HBO Go, or if you've got the WWE Network, and a ton of other things. So the idea of adding this onto that dog pile already is pretty substantial. Now, they did add in that it'd be ad-free. So no more ads, no more pop-up ads, no more streaming ads, none of that shit, it'd all be gone. That's it, completely vacant, fucking tumbleweeds rolling by and shit. Now, somebody could go and say, well, why the fuck not just use AdBlock? AdBlock is free, and it is. AdBlock's like on virtually every single browser, so just get AdBlock. It's right fucking there. Now, the only argument that you can go and make about something like that is using AdBlock is kind of stifling to the content creators and to the website in general. And that's an argument and debate that people have all the time of whether or not, you know, it's actually okay to go and do shit like that. I've always been in the gray area of things of, I don't give a shit what the fuck you're using. You can use AdBlock. Use it to your heart's content. You could just not use AdBlock. That's fucking fine. At least understand that if a site is not self-sustained, then it can fucking crumble. That's the only thing that I want everybody to ever understand whenever they're going and using it. That's it. Pretty fucking simple. So, you could use AdBlock. That should be free, and you wouldn't have to pay a $10 premium to go and get something like that. Boom! Wow, it's amazing. So, what else are they going to have? Well, they've enlisted the aid of individual content creators, and we're talking like the bigwigs, the multi-million subscriber types. You know, people not like me, because I'll never be a multi-million subscriber channel. But they're talking to them about this shit, and they're like, okay, here's what we're going to do. And one of the biggest names, obviously, PewDiePie, who I was referencing with, you know, Cream Pie videos. So now we have PewDiePie being brought up again, and he's working alongside the people who worked on, or are working on, the Walking Dead series for a reality show. That's kind of a big deal, all in all. Do I really give a shit about it? Honestly, no. I could really go fuck less. I'll just watch The Walking Dead and like that, and read the comics, and play the games. So that Walking Dead universe, I care about, and that's fucking awesome. Reality TV, I've just never really gotten into, because 99% of the time, it's just not reality. So I can't get all that invested in it. But for anybody out there that's big into PewDiePie and loves the shit out of his channel, that might be something worth getting into, but the only way that you'd be able to is through YouTube Red. So they're trying to lock down exclusive content that you wouldn't be able to get, you know, on Netflix or on Hulu, on Amazon Prime or anything like that, because these are YouTube stars. So they wouldn't try to go and do shit like that. In addition to being able to watch things ad-free and have a shit ton of exclusive content, one of the things that they're trying to push is they can be able to watch all your videos and listen to them offline. So go and download the shit, which I already do through various different plugins that I have on Firefox, but this would be something built into the YouTube app. So you could go and download whatever TV show or random fucking video it was that you were interested in continuing because you have shitty reception or in service wherever the fuck that you're at, and continue watching it that way. Plus, they want to make it so that if you were, say, listening to some kind of music, a playlist, or a podcast or some shit, and you exit out a YouTube app while you're on your phone, it'll continue playing, whereas right now, that shit just stops entirely. And I've had that happen to me while I was running around my neighborhood late at night, because late night jogging is the only way to fucking do shit, so now they would let this shit continue going as it is. Though I think that's a feature that they should already have in YouTube. I think it's kind of ridiculous that they relegate something like this to a paid platform, considering this is something that really should be in the app by proxy. I think it's kind of dumb that it's that way, but, you know, what the fuck can you do? That seems kind of greedy, but, well, it is Google. You've also got the fact that there's YouTube content creators out there right now who are pissed the fuck off because there's a catch. If you do not sign a little paperwork saying, you know, oh, okay, I agree to this terms and service and all that shit, then your content will no longer be made available, and it'll just be set to private, all of it, by proxy. As soon as they roll out YouTube Red, and you haven't signed anything, it won't happen. So there is no options at all. You can't just opt out and your content's still made available, just not through YouTube Red subscriptions. So a lot of people have been up in arms about that, and understandably so. It just seems kind of weird that you have a separate terms and conditions specifically for YouTube Red, and then if people don't sign it, even all the folks who aren't YouTube Red subscribers can't view the stuff, so it's not business as usual if you don't cave into that. Now, does this change anything about your channel? No, it doesn't. It doesn't change anything whatsoever. And there's been a lot of people out there wondering, well, everybody's signing up for these subscriptions, how are we going to get paid based off of that? And YouTube hasn't really said shit, so a lot of people have been up in arms about that. I just don't give a shit because I just want to go and make my fucking videos, and I'm just like, that's cool, right? Just making videos, we can still do that. I love that idea. So, who the hell knows? They did say that you will take the majority stake of it, so I'm assuming anything above 50%. I know right now the content creators get 55% overall, and if you're with some kind of a network, then you're going to be taking a little bit less depending on the contract that you went and signed, and this is a bunch of numbers that nobody should give a shit about, because it's just, you're going to be making money regardless. Who the fuck cares? Just make content, put it out there. Is this going to be good or is this going to be bad? This is one of those scenarios where you kind of just have to wait and see. It'd be easy to say that this shit could flop. You know, a lot of people had said, oh man, YouTube gaming could be the next big thing, and by comparison to Twitch, it's definitely, like, not doing much of shit. Twitch is still the premier platform for all that stuff. And with something like this, are they going to be able to make a dent into Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Spotify and all that shit? It remains to be seen. You figure you've already got the established user base, but can you coax any of them into believing that paying $10 a month for stuff that they already had available to them for free is worth it? You've got this 1% of content that is now going to be exclusive. Is that enough to go and convince people that it's worth diving into this? You know, you may have already seen tons of different times where if you want to go and watch, like, an official movie or an official TV show, that it had a little price tag beside it, which I thought was fucking utter nonsense. I was like, I'm never going to fucking pay for that. You'd be out of your mind. I'll torrent that shit for free. That was my exact mindset. So, can you convince people that, hey, this is totally worth it, and it's just like this stuff over here? Google's not a stupid company, obviously. They wouldn't go and jump onto something like this without thinking it through, though then again, we did have Google+, so I guess anything is possible. But with something like this, I think that they could do pretty well with it, assuming that all the stuff is good. You know, it needs to be shit that people want to see. And the ad-free thing, it has to be something that, you know, it's a good selling point to people that are like, no, I want this shit legitimately. So, who the fuck knows how it's going to go, and who knows if they're going to change the terms and conditions where you don't have to sign up for it, but if you go and do that, then how's it going to change the shit? It's just fucking confusing, and kind of silly overall. Again, I don't understand why something like that has to go and happen, but I'm assuming it's because, well, now it's a paid subscription service, so people are paying to go and see this content. Just craziness! Fucking tons of craziness! So either way, how do you feel about YouTube Red? Do you think it's going to be good? Do you think it needs to just be what the fuck it is right now? Free only? Like I said, it's going to remain free to everybody else. It's just this is now an option to go and pay for this shit and then get exclusive stuff and no ads. Or do you think that this is probably the best thing that they've thought up and this is a step in the right direction in terms of evolving YouTube as a platform overall for everybody from content creators to everyday users and just in general for the internet? Either way, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on!